Here lately, Charles Barkley has spoke on the Clippers, gave his opinion about the Clippers, and Charles Barkley said his favorite to win the championship going into next season will be the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, I don't know whether we should take this as a good thing or a bad thing. Every time Charles seems to pick a team, every time I look at NBA on TNT to win it all or win a series or whatever the case may be, 80% of the time, just my guesstimation, I would say usually he's wrong. So I don't know if this would be a curse on the Clippers or a gift on the Clippers. I'm not really sure, but hopefully it's a gift, because when I look at the Clippers overall from top to bottom, we're looking at a team that's really unanimously really good compared to any other team in NBA. We're looking at a team that's really, really stacked, a team that really has a lot of upside, even on their bench, in regards to Terrence Mann and the Amir Coffeys and Luke Kennards and, players like that, Brandon Boston Jr., it's a lot of talent on the Clippers up and down. And this is the reason why I said I don't really know if the Clippers would be smart by trading anybody, maybe unless it's, somebody like Marcus Morris, because, the tweets and stuff that's been coming out about Marcus Morris lately in regards to, or the like tweets, I should say, in regards to some teams he might get traded to and how he's given a warm reception to it, basically. That might open the eyes of the Clippers organization a little bit and might help them make their decision a little bit easier based upon, some of the things that's coming out about him, like in tweets about being sent to another team, and the fact that he's very inconsistent and his contract is really not worth it when you look at somebody like Robert Covington, who they just gave a $24 million contract to, who they feel like can definitely do a lot of good things for the Clippers. And to be quite honest, he can definitely almost replace Marcus Morris to a degree, because Marcus Morris' inconsistency really knocks him out the picture, because he can shoot better than Robert Covington, but he can't defend better. And then on top of that, he's older. And on top of that, even though he can shoot better, it's not consistent enough to help the Clippers win. So, it really doesn't matter if you're a better shooter if you're not as consistent. Robert Covington is pretty consistent with knocking down his three whenever he gets an opportunity to shoot and score. He's not a big scorer or anything like that, but he can knock down big shots. And his defense is usually always on point every single night, no matter what night he steps on the floor. So that makes up for Marcus Morris right there. So other than that, and I know some people want to deal maybe Zubac, they were talking about maybe one other on the bench or something like that. But other than that, I feel like they should keep their core, because, of course, as I said in many videos, this team is built to win a championship. And not only the fact they're built to win a championship, they're actually built to win a championship the year after that. Because if they win a championship, right, and only lose, and if they happen to keep most of their pieces because they want to run it back again to try to, win another title, they can actually go back and repeat. This team could really actually do something bigger than what most people believe. And they can actually not only break a curse of the Clippers of winning a championship, they can win multiple championships as a team. And that would be, the ultimatum right there. That would be great, for the Clippers. That would be awesome for the Clippers to go in there and, take care of business that way, especially, a lot of people not talking about them. And a lot of people just write the Clippers off. Hey, if you don't believe me, just go to listen to Undisputed every morning, or not every morning, but whenever they decide to talk about the Clippers, which is very minimal, listen to Shannon Sharp. He writes them off all the time, only because he's a Lakers fan. He's a LeBron fan. And I definitely believe he's scared of Kawhi Leonard, because he knows in the back of his mind, just like everybody else does, Kawhi Leonard is LeBron James' kryptonite. If LeBron James faced Kawhi Leonard in a 7-game series, he's probably not going to come out the victor. And that's due to simply because, not only because LeBron is older, but at the same time, them going head to head, even when LeBron was younger, Kawhi dominates the matchup. Kawhi wins 99% of the time, 90% of the time against LeBron anytime they ever faced each other. You even heard Kenny the Jet Smith on TNT say that, that's LeBron's kryptonite. That's the person, that's the one person that can make LeBron look mortal at times. Not all the time, but at times he can make him look mortal, because Kawhi just doesn't fear LeBron, but he doesn't fear anybody. So, that's my point. When you play somebody like that, who is stoic and who is very, very, determined to win, and who's very, very talented in regards to, his skill that he's built over time on the offensive end, along with his great defensive, meddlesome defense on the defensive end, you have a hard task on your hand. That's the reason why when the Clippers were down 0-2 in those series a couple years ago, it was hard to knock off the Clippers because Kawhi Leonard just won't be denied at some point. And it's like when he gets that in him to really, really dominate, he can. And then if he brings Paul George along with him, now you really got a problem. So it's like, when you think about the Clippers with the two stars, the two wings they have, that makes them deadly on their own. But then you had Norman Powell and Robert Covington and all these other players, and now you got one of the best three-point shooters coming off the bench in Luke Kennard. And like I said, these guys play defense too. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not as good as they do, but I mean, they still play defense as well. And especially Terrence Mann, he's definitely good on defense and definitely can make some things happen. And like I said, if they can get a little bit more, I would say, out of Zubac in regards to, what he can bring to the table and everything, definitely now they're really cooking with grease. So, I mean, like I said, I would like to see this team, kind of keep it together, for the most part and make a run at it. And I definitely don't blame Charles Barkley for picking this team to win it all, because if you look at their roster, like I said, who really has a better roster from top to bottom? Now, you might could say the Brooklyn Nets does if, Ben Simmons is available, if Ben Simmons really fits what they do. And if they can get Kyrie on the same page, then yeah, you can say, maybe they got, a better roster, because they, like I said, they will have Ben Simmons, KD, Kyrie, and then they got, the good role players. They got Seth Curry, they have Joe Harris back, what I'm saying? They got a lot of good pieces themselves. So, I mean, that would be a good roster, to put up against the Clippers. And I can definitely see, a Clippers Nets NBA Finals next year. Both teams stay healthy and everybody is all in. So I definitely could see that. And that would be probably one of the best finals ever. It definitely will go 7 games, I believe. Well, then again, I don't know. I feel like it might go 6 games because, I mean, the defense that the Clippers would put on the Nets, I feel like would just, eat the Nets out. I mean, it would like knock the Nets off. I mean, me personally, I just feel like, 6 or 7 games, give or take, I still have the Clippers winning that series if they actually played in the finals. But at the same time, I think, either way, the Clippers definitely should be the favorite to win it. I mean, because when you look at their team overall, even though if they had to play a team like the Brooklyn Nets in a 7-game series, well, Ty Lue is a better coach than Steve Nash. I mean, that's just flat out. I mean, there's no other way around it. I mean, it would come down to a chess match. Chess match wise, well, the Clippers will win it just based off of that. So, and that's my thing. When you look at the Clippers roster, not only stacked on the roster, but they have one of the best, if not arguably the best coach in the NBA, based upon we saw last year what he did with neither superstar and got the team to the play-in tournament, almost actually got them to actual playoff, almost got to that 6th seed, you know what I'm saying? And got close to Denver to take that 6th seed to get actually into the playoffs. So what he done last year with this team without the superstars shows how good this team is and how well equipped they are to actually go to battle and go to war with anybody. And we saw the miracle comebacks they had last year. I mean, they had at least 4 or 5 of those comebacks down 20 plus points. In one game, they were down like 30 something points and came back and won it. I mean, it's unreal, like how good this team is depth wise and how much offense they have to spread around and the way they play collectively as a defensive team. You know what I'm saying? The understanding of what Ty Lue is asking out of them, whether young player, veteran player, older player, doesn't matter. All of them seem to get it and all of them seem to flourish under it well. So, I mean, like I said, this team is really on the rise to do a lot of good things. And I definitely see why Charles picked them. I just don't, like I said, I'd rather hear somebody else like Kenny the Jet Smith pick them, to win the championship rather than Charles pick them first. Cause like I said, Charles can jinx a team and don't even know he did it. You know what I'm saying? He's picked a lot of teams where they came up short and he looked like a fool sitting on NBA on TNT looking crazy and everybody else is laughing at him. So hopefully, this is not one of those cursed type picks. Hopefully this pick of Charles actually turns out the right way, and hopefully it flourishes in a championship for the Clippers and they can actually, hold that trophy up in LA and say, this is the first time we got a championship for the Clippers, but it ain't the only time. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos as always. And hey, Khaliis out.